Welcome everyone to Celestia Core Devs Call 32. Today we'll be going over V4 updates, some new CIPs, and a client library. Um, so to get started, we can go through working groups updates. Um, I think the first update that we have here is from the DA working group. Vlad, I know that the Celestia client library was included in the V0.22.3 release of Celestia Node. Could you please, yeah, just give us a little bit of background on that and what is now accessible for developers?
Yeah, so we released Celestia client library, which is alternative to the Light node that users can use to access data uh, on Celestia and to submit data to Celestia. So essentially, if users have the reliable bridge node access, instead of running the Light node, they can directly connect to this bridge node and fetch the data from it. uh, which means that for such users, they don't have to suffer the overhead of the Light node syncing and sampling. The Light node is released on the minute release 22.3. Existing nodes are not affected. It's just the library itself. There's a README available, and it's shared on the screen right now. It's also linked to the README is available in the release notes. Um, yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing how people use this. And yeah, I think it's a good way to reduce some DevOps overhead for people. That being said, I want to check while we're here if there are any updates from DA working group, interface working group, or ZK working group. Give like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the silence as it knows. And we can go to CIP updates. I think here the main focus right now is the V4 upgrade. There were some bugs found on Arabica and Mocha that are being resolved. So as I understand it, please someone correct me if I'm wrong, there will be an update, new versions for both Arabica and Mocha that will be deployed and upgraded before we switch mainnet beta to V4. Um,
Correct.
what's up? Cool. And I think we're aiming for sometime early next week, if I'm not wrong, on those releases. And then we'll play it by ear from there.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. I guess is there any more context that anyone who's watching should be aware of? Or does that cover it?
No, that covers it. I would say if you run a node on Mocha and you're uncovering issues, like please continue to report them, attach logs and GitHub issues. Like we've gotten a lot of help from community node operators finding issues on Mocha. So it's been very helpful and please continue to do it. Like attaching configs and logs is by far the most helpful thing. And also like obviously errors or reporting if your setup is unique in some way, like if you run TMKMS or whatever, that all helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel and Evan. And thank you to everyone who's been submitting those tickets. Um, I think next we can talk about two new drafts. The first is for lowering the trusting period to 7 days, and the second is to remove the sampling window from CIP, which number? I guess just from one of the CIPs, CIP 34. Nash Q, you're here. I'm gonna let you shed some more light on those before I botch anything.
Yeah, so two CIPs. It basically the CIP 34 had both the sampling period and the pruning period N1. And one of the realizations was that these things are actually independent and can be independently set. And the second realization was that the trusting period and the sampling window has to be the same. So what I did is create a new CIP that just focuses on lowering the trusting period. And with that, in addition, also the sampling window to 7 days. And then edited the CIP of 34 to reduce it to sunrise plus 1 hour, which will focus only on the pruning window. And the reasoning for the pruning window is mostly just that it will save on storage for DA bridge nodes, which will be a huge UX improvement. And for lowering the trusting period, it has mostly like 3 reasons. One is that it will optimize the resource requirements from the light node side because the sampling will also be reduced. So when you sync up a new light node and sample, the full sampling window currently is 30 days, which should be currently it's too much. It should be 14 days right now because the trusting period is 14 days. So now it's more or less reducing it to 7 days, and then which will cut bandwidth requirement by 76% for the syncing up to the chain, not the bandwidth at the tip. And the same goes then also for full nodes who don't need to distribute samples longer than 7 days. And just to make it clear, let's say that if the trusting period is 7 days, the pruning window can still be 10 days. It doesn't like these are not connected. And the last thing is that you can potentially reduce also the unbundling period for the validators if you have a lower trusting period. So yeah, basically the CIP goes into the rationale of why and how, and some things that we have to still work out, especially when it comes to the IBC Lite clients, which on other chains which are dependent on the trusting period. Otherwise, the changes for light nodes should be quite straightforward. So yeah, in review and editing as we speak.
Cool. Yes, are there any questions in the chat or in the call for NashQ? And if not,
I
oh,
have a question actually. Was it reviewed from an IBC standpoint? Like, if we reduce the trusting period, if it has any implications with like IBC or already connected chains, basically? Like, is
Yeah,
there an upgrade path or something?
Exactly. So in the security consideration and backwards compatibility section, I touch on IBC light clients and bridges and what will happen to them. But this is was done to best of my knowledge. So it's currently also being reviewed by Damon and just needs a little bit more eyes to make sure there's a migration path.
Cool, makes sense.
But yeah,
Thank you.
thought about that. Yeah, back to you, Josh. I don't hear you. I think you muted.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. So I was saying thank you for giving us a little bit of context on that. If you want to join the discussion, there is a forum post for this. The PR itself is also probably a good place to review, and same goes for 310. On that note, I think that's pretty much all we have to talk about today. I do want to just do a last call for any updates from working groups or any other CIP updates or questions for the group. I'll give like a 10 seconds or 5. Yeah, cool. Thank you everyone again for coming today, and I think we can have our next core devs call in 2 weeks. So it'll be on Tuesday, the 24th of June at the same time. And I look forward to seeing you all then.
Thank you, Josh.
That's all we got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. See you.